Hey, I'm Roland with mobilegeeks.com and .de, and what we have right here is the new HTC Desire 300. It has actually been announced in Europe and Germany for a couple of months, but it's basically just gotten its start coming to market in Taiwan, HTC's home country, and it's basically the new low-end smartphone from HTC, which is supposed to be the bottom of their portfolio. It has a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 MSM 8225 dual core at 1.0 gigahertz in there. There's 512 megabytes of RAM and 4 gigs of onboard flash storage, but you can extend that using an SD card slot. And yeah, let's get it out of its box. It comes in this box that's fully made out of paper. Just quickly for you to check out the specs again right there. All it says on the back. It's got a 4.3-inch screen, and yeah, let's get it unboxed then. As I said, paper box, and there's the phone already. And as you can see from the boxing, or from the design of the box, and from the phone in its foil, it looks kind of like the HTC One, or it's at least inspired by the design of the HTC One, but there's a couple of changes which I'm gonna come to in a second. Let's go further down into the box. We have all this paperwork, warranty statement in a couple of different languages. Interestingly, this device obviously came from Greece. Standard micro USB cable right here, and the typical and well-known HTC power adapter that only puts out 1 amp, so it might not be the fastest charging power plug right there. Standard headset. I'm not gonna unwrap those because yeah, just standard stuff. And let's get to the phone. I'm gonna pull it out of its cover foil right here for you, and there you go. It looks kind of like the HTC One, but they're using cheaper materials, and it's definitely a lower spec device. What's to notice is actually they have those only 2 capacitive buttons underneath the screen. So you get a home button and a back button, and that's basically it. There's no menu button in here because Android is nowadays using mostly software buttons for everything. So HTC actually chose to drop the menu button on this. We have a single speaker up here. There's no boom sound on this, so you only get 1 speaker bar that's up on top. That's a VGA camera right there. If you can see this right here, those are actually the light sensors back here. HTC logo, and it's fully made out of plastic, but it doesn't really feel cheap. It feels very light, that's for sure, because it only weighs in at, let me see, 120 grams. I already turned it on for the other video. So this is a 4.3-inch screen running at a WVGA resolution of 800 by 480 pixels, so it's not the highest resolution or pixel density, but it's decent actually. It's just above 10 millimeters thick, but it feels thinner actually, or for me it felt thinner when I touched it for the first time. We have a volume rocker on the side here, nothing except for the micro USB port on the bottom and a noise cancelling mic, and on the left there's pretty much nothing. On top we have the power button right there and the headset jack. This is a 5 megapixel camera which HTC is putting in there without a flash, so that's kind of a letdown. We have another speaker right here, or the speaker, the main speaker, and the HTC logo. You can actually get this cover off, so I'm just gonna try and pry it off. They actually put a small piece of paper in the packaging to tell you how to get it off, but you basically just move your fingers around the corners after pressing in on the back, and then you should be able to get the back off. Just as on the Moto G, you can actually get off the cap pretty easily if you're used to it or know how to do it. We have the SIM card slot up here, the micro SD card slot right there, so you can actually extend the storage, and we have an interchangeable battery that has a size of 1650 milliampere hour, so it is smaller, way smaller than on the Moto G, for example, which just goes actually against, or at least competes in the same price class. But yeah, HTC is going to have a hard time selling this at the price that they're announcing for Germany, because it starts out at like 200 euros, and that is way too high compared to the Moto G, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Because I have my Moto G right here, which I'm nowadays using as my daily driver, and it's actually smaller than the HTC Desire 300. Desire 300 has a 4.3-inch screen only, but HTC is kind of wasting a lot of space around the device on the bottom and the top. So the screen on the Moto G is actually a 4.5-inch screen, so it's bigger, but the phone itself actually comes out smaller. I'm just going to turn off the automatic brightness right here, and it also has 720p resolution on the Moto G, and the HTC Desire 300 only has 800 by 480 pixels. So it's basically a lower spec phone for a higher price. So you might want to think about getting the Moto G, because this actually has a quad core at 1.2 gigahertz, a newer quad core than the already pretty aging MSM 8225 dual core that's in the HTC Desire 300 right here. The battery is bigger, and there's a couple of other advances or advantages that the Moto G actually has, except for the fact that you can change the battery and extend the storage on the HTC Desire 300, and you can't do that on the Moto G. So I was rolling with Mobile Geeks, unboxing and taking a quick comparison look at the Moto G and the Desire 300. Thank you.